Terrence Malick's 1998 The Red Thin Line explores men's struggle with the violent aspects of nature. Set during the US offensive on Guadalcanal in 1942, the film follows the individual philosophizing of soldiers and how they come to terms with war and reality itself. Interesting enough, for this presentation, I have chosen, as a company reader of course, I have chosen Emiko Inuki's Kamikaze's Cherry Blossoms, Nationalism and the Militarization of Aesthetics to look into the philosophical motives of Thai pilots. The film depicts a company's assault on Guadalcanal, which was the first major land battle between the US and Japan. This would significantly characterize the Pacific theater in New World War II, in that most operations involved amphibious assaults, as portrayed in the film, but also a series of naval battles. This is in contrast to the US land invasions of the German and Italian forces on the African and European theaters. However, the film does not seem too concerned with a retelling of Guadalcanal. Japanese land assaults would not be characterized by disorganized banzai rushes of entire companies towards the Americans, but rather the initial engagement with the Japanese on part of the point of view of the Americans was a deceptive and hidden enemy in the tall grass. It can be therefore more credited towards a creative license that Malick takes to demonstrate something more deeper than just mere skirmishes between two warring parties. The film itself, with its internal dialogues, panning cinematography, and this battle scenes is to induce the audience to view the film as an epic or an allegory, as the film is probably more interested in philosophy than a recount of war. Just like the literary epics such as the Mahabharata and the Odyssey, Malick is using story to invite us to an ultimate truth. Malick reinforces his allegorical Hellenistic theme through Stavros, in which he states to his men in Greek.
Isa sa palikaria mo.
What does that mean, sir?
It means you've been like my sons.
Thus, the truth that shines through the film is that nature is indifferent to our suffering, and that it is a fixation of the human mind that conceptualizes our personal existence, if anything. Nature's indifference is highlighted by Malick presenting a contrast between masculine and feminine, societal and primordial, war and peace. This thus demonstrates the futility of war, for
maybe all men got one big soul, who everybody's a part of. All faces of the same man. Emiko's 2002 Kamikaze, Cherry Blossoms and Nationalism, the Militarization of Aesthetics examines how romanticism is used to convince people to die like cherry blossoms. Specifically the Thai pilots, also known as Kamikaze pilots, who initiated suicide attacks against Allied naval vessels. Chapter 6 of the book provides the intimate thoughts of these pilots and the philosophical connections they made to dying like beautiful cherry petals. Such as political science graduate Takao Taketoku, who, with consolation of consequentialist philosophies from the Hellenistic and Buddhist tradition, sees the futility of his own existence and finds solace in dying while sending his blessings to his mother and siblings. Like Wit, Hayashi Tadao hates the military, but becomes a pilot anyway because of his own political utopianism. However, eventually, through his diary entries, he expresses despair and as a result of his disillusionment of his situation. This reading, along with the film, helps us come to understand the existential reasons why people want to go to war, but it also looks at the philosophical disillusionment of war itself. Like the Thai pilots and in the film, they all had their own reasons for going to war, but Malick makes it really clear in his film that in the end it's not going to be for anything.